Hey everyone, Kevin here. Very excited about the video today. We are going to be talking about an all new product by Pecron. It's only been on the market a couple of months now. It is Pecron's P600 600 watt power station. Small footprint and 13 pounds. So we knew from the get-go that we were going to need some kind of a power supply, power station, battery, whatever you want to call it, to power at the very least, our electronics to charge, a couple of fans that we're going to need to continually charge, also to run a compact 12-volt refrigerator. We like to do meal preparation at camp, so it's important for us to get away from ice, because we do want to do some longer trips. We don't want to have to run and make ice, have that inconvenience. So basically, knowing what we actually absolutely had to have for power needs, we decided a 500 watt battery or power station would be sufficient. We also decided against building our own. I know that can be done, but we just wanted something we could pull out of the box, could be very easy to port or carry around, transport. It was just like turnkey for us. So we did a lot of research. We were actually torn between Jackery's model and Bluetti's model, the ones that are around the 500 watt range. I think it's a Jackery Explorer 500. I forget the Bluetti model. And while we were doing researches, we came across a review from Hobotech where he was reviewing the 1500 watt Pecron model, and Jason at Byte My Bits was actually reviewing the 1000 watt Pecron model. Now we knew these were bigger wattage capacities than we would ever need, but the reviews were so favorable towards Pecron, we decided we'd venture out to Pecron's website to see what they had, if they offered anything smaller, and lo and behold, they have this 600 watt power station. So the positive reviews by Hobotech and Jason at Byte My Bits led us to this unit. The features and the highlights at a glance are it's a 600 watt with a 1200 watt peak power surge capacity on it. It actually is good for, according to the customer service at Pecron, it's good for 1,000 charge cycles. It'll retain 70% efficiency after that 1,000 watts. So what that really means is once you've charged this thing fully 1,000 times, you're not going to be able to charge it to 100% anymore. I'm not really sure how that works, but it retains 70% efficiency, and I think the industry standard is somewhere around 80% efficiency, and that's very common. But when you break that down mathematically, really what that means is if we were to charge this thing fully 6 times a month, that would equal 72 times a year, and at that rate, we'd actually probably have about 14 years of use in this easily, if the product were to last that long. So that was a big selling feature for us as well. It has a pure sine wave inverter in here, which is very important that if you're going to buy a unit like this, it does have pure sine. I'm not very technical with this stuff. I've learned everything as I've researched this. I do know that pure sine is good because it basically provides a steady supply of current with no glitches or in it, so you can run more finicky electronics like refrigerators, laptops, CPAP machines, things like that. Has a lithium-ion battery. It's 13 pounds. I actually put it on the scale. It weighs 13 pounds, and that's what the website says it would weigh. They do put an LED emergency light on this thing. I don't know if I'll ever use it, but it could come in handy. I guess you never know. Wake up in the middle of the night. It's nice to know you have that option there. They do tout a super fast charging capability in this, and it's due to advanced charging technology. So this is something we're actually going to test out later in the video. And it does have a bunch of various overload protection features, like your over discharge warning, your short circuit warning, over voltage, over current, overload, overheat. This thing will throw warnings up if you're getting in any type of a dangerous zone with any of this. So what I'd like to do is just take a little bit of a closer look at this, point out everything on this, and then we're going to put it through some testing. So let's take a closer peek. So what came in this box was this box. And in this box was the power station and the bag that has the user guide, the 12-volt car charger, and the wall charger. So that's what comes in the bag. And let's take a little bit of a closer look at the actual power station here. You have your informative digital display here. This is actually, we'll power this on for a minute. This is the DC output mode here. So it has 100% charge. The battery indicator shows a full charge, 100% remaining on that. And it actually has a time estimate here, or it counts down the time. Actually, it's supposed to be close to exact, so hopefully we can get a good test on that. So according to this, there's 580 hours left on this. So that's great. It's actually using a watt of power, DC out at the moment. When you switch over to AC, you can hear the inverter kick in and a fan kick in. It's basically the same. Shows you your watt in, your watt out, and the time that's left on this, 36.2 hours, 100% full battery charge. And it's got this cool little like a tachometer type looking thing that shows the load on the inverter. So that's basically it. It does have, it shows you your voltage as well, and power factor. I think the power factor is just more or less the efficiency of how it's producing the power. So that's basically the display in a nutshell. So there's your display. What I like about this is it actually counts down the time left on it, and the percentage is very precise too. It'll count down, I believe it does it to the decimal, 1 decimal, how much percentage is remaining on it. And I do know one of the other brands we were looking at did not have that breakdown. It only had the battery at 20% intervals. I need to see something a little more precise than that. So this works good for me, for us. Also have your USB-Cs and your quick charge, 2 ports of each, USB ports. They actually have this little cover, which is kind of neat, pushes right in place. Here's your DC out. So this is where I'll plug my our fridge into, our little 12-volt fridge. And we're going to actually do a test on that coming up as well. And then when you flip this bad boy around, you have your inputs. So basically, this is going to be the 12-volt car charger would plug into this, as well as an MPPT solar charger could actually plug into this. Solar charging cable if you want to charge it with solar. Looks like there's a 100-watt max on this. And then over here is an aviation style type input. Here would be a PWM type a solar charging cable that you could plug into this, and this is supposed to be more watts. It's I think it was 300 watt actually capacity on that, and the wall charger also plugs into this. So the last things on this is your AC output. You have your 2 grounded outlets, and then it even has a ground. I believe that's what this is. So if you wanted to drive a 6-foot stake into the ground, you could fully ground this thing. Don't think I'll be doing that. And one more time, neat little battery. So quick thing about the charging times on this, and we do not yet have solar panels. We're debating that. We may need them, but we want to test it with powering through the vehicle and charging through wall and see how that works for us. If we get panels, we'll probably put up another review. But according to Pecron, the PWM port, which would be this port, would charge this thing fully in 2 to 3 hours. I can't verify that because we don't have the panels to do so, but this is according to their website. And then if you use the MPPT port here, you're looking at about a 6 to 8 hour charge time. Wall outlet charge time, when you're using this port, is actually Pecron claims it's 2 to 3 hours, which is very high speed. I know there are competitors that are in the 6-hour range, so I'm anxious to kill this battery, drain it, and charge it, which we're going to do later in the video. And then for the car outlet, when you charge it through the DC output in your car, you're looking at about a 5-hour charge time on this unit to get it fully up to charge from dead. So this is basically the unit in a nutshell. One thing I do have to say, I interacted with customer service at Pecron, and it was through a Facebook Messenger chat app, and they were awesome. They respond rapidly, usually within like a 12-hour time frame to any of the many questions I had, and I had a lot of them before I actually pulled the trigger and purchased this. So I want to give their customer service department kudos, and I also want to mention this is something we purchased. We're not any affiliation. We have no affiliation with them at all. We're not getting paid by them. We hope we love this product. We think we're going to, and we just want to share it with you because it's a more economical option to some of the more pricey products out there. So what we're going to do next is we're actually going to hook up a 12-volt fridge to this, and we're going to start testing. Okay, so we're going to do a drain test. All we really want to do is just see how long the Pecron P600 will power this Astro AI 12-volt refrigerator. The refrigerator is brand new. We've not used it yet. However, we did plug it in today, just a few hours ago, to bring it down to temperature somewhat, because in a real world environment, we'll actually do that before we head out camping. We'll make sure the fridge is plugged into the house with food in it, bringing it down to temperature before we actually bring it out to the van, just to ease the load on what this will take to keep it at temp and try to prolong the life of this between charges. So one thing I just want to mention, this is actually a 23 quart, 22 liter refrigerator, 12 volt. We're in a controlled environment in our condominium right now. So the air conditioner is set 24/7 in here at 75 degrees. So this will be different than the real world environment in a minivan where it could be 90 degrees during the day and then 60 degrees at night. So just take note of that. So what we're going to do is plug this in to the DC output, and you can see it's kicked on. I'm going to release the lock on this and make sure it's set. I want to set it. It's taking a moment here. Okay, it's set to 34 degrees. The actual temperature inside this refrigerator right now is 41 degrees. So what's happened is the compressor has kicked in to bring it down to 34 degrees, and once it does, the compressor will shut off. You can see this is using about 45 watts of power, 43 watts of power right now, and that's because the compressor is running. When the compressor shuts off, when this is down to temperature, this should trickle power out. So I have no idea how long this is going to last. I mean, with the compressor running at 38, 40 watts, it's saying about 15 hours. But I have a feeling this is going to go up significantly when this thing does get to temperature. So what I'm going to do is start a stopwatch so we can get a very close estimate as to how long it took for this battery to drain. Okay, so the date is, it's Thursday, September 16th, and the time is 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm starting the stopwatch, and we'll keep an eye on this and report back when the battery has drained. So just wanted to pop in and do a quick 24-hour check-in. We're at just about 24 hours. 1 minute will be 24-hour mark. We started this yesterday, September 16th, at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're just about at that same time, 24 hours later. So just wanted to check in, see where we're at with the charge on this thing. We started it last night. There's actually some items in here. We'll take a quick look inside. We've actually opened this top quite a few times just to try to mimic what we'd be doing out on the road when we have this out and running. Where we're at right now is we are at a 53% usage of the battery. So there's actually 53% left of the battery. So we've used about 47% of it. When the compressor doesn't kick in on the refrigerator, this thing trickles power. When the compressor does kick in, this goes up to anywhere in the high 30 watt to 45 watt usage while the compressor is running. So that is what is depleting the battery charge on this, is when the compressor kicks in. Other than that, this thing trickles power. So I'm guessing we're going to get about 48 hours of use out of this. We're going to keep it running and see just how long it goes. Hopefully it doesn't die on us in the middle of the night, but I think it's safe to estimate this is probably going to keep this refrigerator charged at 34 degrees in this type of a climate, which is 75 degrees in our condominium, for 48 hours, give or take a few hours. perhaps. So we'll keep our eye on that. So, I mean, I'm pleasantly surprised, especially for the price of this. I'll just pull this off to the side. And that, actually, the Pecron has a very quiet fan. You really can't even hear it run, so that's something that's worth noting. And all we've had in this fridge, I'll just pop it open for you to take a look. For the whole time, maybe we didn't put quite enough items in it. There's a couple water bottles. And this actual fridge has an ice tray feature in it. So we actually made ice as well, so these cubes are frozen. That's all that's in the fridge. It might have fared a little bit better if we actually had it more stocked. But anyway, we're just testing this out, and we're going to continue on with this, and we'll be back when this battery has drained. Just doing a quick 48-hour check-in on the progress of this. It's actually 2 days later after we started, 48 hours, we just hit the mark. The battery is at 18%. I'm not sure if this will make it through the night or not, but we'll find out in the morning when we wake up. Did you get it? The Pecron has drained. It actually lasted 49 hours, 48 minutes. A little over 2 days, just under 50 hours. Which I think is pretty good. Hold on a sec here. And I'll show you the 0%. If you look at the display, we've got a 0% battery reading. So there's no charge left in this at all. I just wanted to point out again, this we ran a 12 volt refrigerator from 100% charge to 0. And what we noticed is that when the compressor on the fridge would kick in, that's when the power would be pulled from this. And it was anywhere between low 30 watts to about a max of 45 watts. And it would fluctuate between those two amounts up and down as a compressor requested energy from this. When the compressor would stop because the fridge was at temperature, this would go to a 1 watt usage, so trickling power, and that was probably just to run like the LED display and the display in the actual refrigerator. So that was quite interesting to see. So what we're going to do now, Pecron actually claims this is a fast charge. It takes 2 to 3 hours to charge from a wall socket. So we're actually going to try that, and I'm going to go ahead and plug in, and I'm going to start the stopwatch here. Stopwatch is set to 0. I am going to plug in this aviation style cable, which is connected or plugged into our wall outlet, and we're going to start this thing charging. I'll hit start on the stopwatch, and as you can see, the Pecron is now pulling power from the wall outlet to charge us. It looks like it's pulling right around 200 watts. And it actually has an estimated charge time of about just under 3 hours, 2.79. So it'll be interesting to see how long this actually takes. The battery's already at 3%. So we'll check in when the charge is full. The results are in. The charge is done. Actually, Pecron quotes 2 to 3 hours to charge from 0 to 100% through the AC wall outlet. We clocked it in at 3 hours and 14 minutes. I'm pretty impressed, actually. I know what I've read from other competitors are a 5-hour charge time from the wall outlet. So this is still significantly quicker, and I think they're true to their word in a high-speed charging technology they're using in this product. So I'm very impressed with this. It actually, during charging, it pulled, for most part, about anywhere from 200 watts to 250 watts. It was pulling from the wall outlet. As it hit closer to the 100% charge mark, the wattage started diminishing, which I think is just common in these types of units. Another option, there are other options, the DC outlet, which is going to be a slower charge time, but their options for solar panels seem interesting as well. They have a 200 watt product called the Aurora 200. That's a 36 volt panel that actually uses the same aviation style cable, and they're saying that the charge time with that is similar. So you're looking at 2 to 3 hours charging from that, if they are accurate with their claim. They actually have a lower priced solar panel too. It's the Aurora 100, and that's an 18 volt panel. That will actually MPPT into this, and it'll be a bit slower of a charge. As we close this out, I just want to state a couple things. One, we've never owned any type of a power station or generator portable such as this. So this is our first experience with a product like this. So we don't have anything to really compare with. We have seen a lot of videos, and that's how we based our decision, as I previously mentioned earlier in the video. But we have nothing to compare it with. Overall, though, I think we're going to be very happy with this. It's a small footprint, it's light, it's portable, it's quick charge, which I just think is a great feature to this. And with that said, though, we always encourage folks to do their own research to find the product that's right for them. We do think that we're going to be really happy with this, especially given the price tag. So in the real world, we're not going to be trying to drain this from 100% to 0%. The goal is going to be to keep this running, assuring that we always need the power, or have the power we need to pull from it. So that will be a combination of different options, whether it's DC charging as well driving, shore power if we're parked at a campsite that offers an AC outlet, and potentially in the future a solar panel. So we are looking forward to getting out on the road, putting this in the real world application, and putting this unit to use. So do be on the lookout for future videos, so check back in. Also note that we are posting links in the description to the products that were in this video, as well as a couple of the reviews that we mentioned earlier. They're really worth a watch if you're trying to do some research on what unit is right for you. As always, thanks for watching.